Good morning. It's Tuesday and I'm back here. This is Dorcas from Washington. We are continuing on with lesson number 9 and it's talking about a more excellent way. Today is Tuesday, May 24, and our topic is about the essential nature of love. And this really kind of takes us to the meat of what love is all about, because we think that there are some things that we can do and that qualifies us. But here in the scriptures, we are reminded that there are things that we may do that even if we do them and have no love, we do not qualify as having the essential nature of love. So how does Paul explain the supreme importance of divine love in our heart? In 1 Corinthians 13, verse 1 to 3, and I'm just going to read because I really feel like I need to read this. And it says, "Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I've become sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but have not love, it profits me nothing." So imagine being able to have faith and remove mountains. Imagine being able to prophesy and do all these wonderful things. But if you don't have love, it profits you nothing. So it's really getting us to the basics that it does not matter if we are going to believe or preach or even die for the truth. If we have we don't have the love of God or for man, it profits us nothing. So no matter how high the profession, he whose heart is not filled with love for God and his fellow man is not a true disciple of Christ. So this is really powerful because it's, we can't say because God is using me in this way, I'm okay. We really have to dig deeper and find if we really truly love God and our neighbors. And in 1 Corinthians 13 verse 4 to 7, you're going to learn about the characteristics that Paul applies to love. And he says, 1 Corinthians 13 verse 4 to 7 says, "Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up. There is no pride in love, and there is no impatience in love, and there is no unkindness in love. Does not behave rudely," so rude, "does not seek its own, not selfish, is not provoked, and thinks not evil. It does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. Bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things." So love is more than what we sometimes think. So it's opposite of human pride and selfishness, or our own humanity. So something in our lives has to change for us to possess this kind of love. We can't have it just like that. We have to have that, as we talked about it yesterday, having that personal relationship with Christ by faith, and then we're able to develop this love. In the reading here, it tells us the purest joy springs from the deepest humiliation. The strongest and noblest characters are built on the foundation of patience, love, and submission to God's will. Christ-like love places the most favorable construction on the motives and acts of others. It does not needlessly expose their faults. It's not necessary to continue pointing people's faults. It does not listen eagerly to unfavorable reports, so you don't want to be listening to what people talk about some other people, gossip, but seeks rather to bring mind the good qualities of others. So you'd rather, if you have something to talk about someone, I'm sure you can think of something good to say about them. So love rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. This love never faileth. It can never lose its value. It's a heavenly attribute. As a precious treasure, it will be carried by its possessor through the portraits of the city of God. So it's something we are going to carry with us to the city of God. So how effective and lasting is divine love? So if you're going to carry it to the heavenly portals, it's everlasting, right? In 1 Corinthians 13 verse 8 tells us, love never fails, but whether there are prophecies, they will fail. Whether there are tongues, they will cease. Whether there is knowledge, it will vanish away. But love, it's enduring, it's everlasting. And while all else will fail, it never will. It is as constant as God, as everlasting as God, as eternal as God. So supreme love for God and unselfish love for one another, this is the best gift our Heavenly Father can bestow. This love is not an impulse, but a divine principle, a permanent power, So it's a power, being able to love like this. The unconsecrated heart cannot originate or produce it. And that's something we had talked about, that we cannot produce or originate it. Only in the heart where Jesus reigns is it found. So that's the only place that we can find this love of God. So I just love this study for Tuesday, because it really goes to the nitty-gritty and the meat of what love is and what it's not, and how to really think deeply about our works and the things that we think have qualified us for heaven or for salvation. And so we have to stop and ask ourselves, do we really love our God with our whole mind and soul and body, or do we love our neighbors as ourselves? And do we apply all these qualities or these essentials that have been spoken about here? So I hope it's something you're going to think about and study about and pray about, and kind of ask the Lord if you have that love that he's talking about here. So have a blessed day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.